I knew her as a little girl. She was a very beautiful woman. She still is. I mean, she's aging gracefully. But then, I mean, I used to look at her and think, I wouldn't mind looking like this when I get older.
She was an elegant woman. Her dressing attracted so many of us.
To me, and to all of us, she was like a mother, a great mother to us. Very simple, very down to earth with children.
She helped to give me that education that I very much cherish today. In fact, the English I speak today, she laid that foundation.
She distinguished herself in the area of character, style, and excellence.
She's been one of those inspiring personalities that we've ever really had in the accounting profession.
When she comes to a business meeting, the moment she comes in, she takes control.
Her ideas are things that we value very much and cherish. And you know, it's someone who, when you work with, you see the joy of achievement, being painstaking, trying to add value to the society that you belong. This is Otunba Bola Kuforiji Olubi.
Docus Magi, that's the name.
She's one of those that, yes, when we go out, we usually drop their name and let people know that, oh, so is from Ogun State. So I think she needs little or no introduction. Everybody knows her. She has probably not just one, not two titles, traditional titles. And they don't just bestow title on anybody. It is people that are deserving of it.
My mother was very caring, very attentive, and being an only surviving child of hers, she made sure that I hardly left her presence. My father was, after so many careers, which he did very well, I was sent to the Native Administration School in Katsina, which was the elite school there, you know, for the children of the emir.
It was a very, very good experience growing up with Otunba in those days. And I think the best way to understand the young lady at that time, the clue of understanding actually, was to see the way she was behaving. She was always in this circle of elderly people, always going around them. And they would also, because they're fond of her, take her wherever they're going. As a result, she was showing leadership traits right from her youth.
I had a stint of living here and there with people, my relations, up to about the age of just under 13. And when I returned home to my father, my 13th birthday was a big celebration. My father christened me Bola Ayodele Olufemi Aduke. That was the name I bore until I went to live with my uncle Jacob Majiagbe in Kaduna in 1945. And my uncle christened me Dorcas.
In those days, there are days when we go in for retreats, a week retreat in the college. And at that time, all we do, no school, just praying, going to church, praying, going to church, going, praying all the time. So since we can't talk, we were able to be mischievous.
We are all rascals in the school in those days.
because we play rascals among ourselves. And we give ourselves all sorts of nicknames in the college. Docus, as we called her then, Docus. Oh, she was simple, soft-going, but she plays her own part too.
She became known only 40 years later. And when she celebrated her 70th birthday, that was the time I knew she was from a royal family. She was always modest, very well-behaved lady.
But very few people will tell you that she was actually a headmistress at the age of 19, which was a feat in those days. She became that because of the force of her persona and because of the brilliance of her person. Now, so from about the age of 19, the leadership traits came into the fore, and she never gave up.
She was a good teacher. In fact, what we admire her most was very neat. She was quite neat. And will always, when she sees you amazed, know that you are not as she expects you to be. So if I take her as my role model, she was good and very comforting. When she sees a group of staying there, she will ask anything. We'll say, no ma. Some will complain the food they gave us today, there were so many ants in the beans, because our beans was always looking anyhow. And they were always convincing us, the Reverend Sister will eat, that those insects give brain. So we call the beans ngum. So she would just tell us, don't worry, tap us, and first she was always near us.
I once told her that, Otunba, if you are in academics, given all the opportunity in the right climb, the way I've seen you, you can even you can be in any discipline. But in your discipline, economics, you can win a Nobel Prize.
I grew up to know that she's my cousin, right from the time I started to recognize people and things. Now, she's the oldest living member of the family as of today. It was one author who said that some people are born great, some achieve greatness, some have greatness thrust on them. I must say, I say without any utter of doubt, that she belongs to the second group.
My husband and the father of my 3 children was Chief Bola Kuforiji. I had known him casually when we meet at Egbeomegba in the UK, in which we were all very active. And I met him at this wedding party. And Soji said, "See, please put on my favorite music because I want to dance with this beautiful girl." And what was the music? Baby mi jọ̀wọ́ jẹ́ ká jọ máa dùn. I said, already talking about Oko and ìyàwó, and I laughed. Anyway, that was how it started. And the first time I went to his house, he now put another music on by Brooke Benton, which is "Thank you, pretty baby, for giving your love to me. I want to kiss you in the morning, kiss you in the morning, and kiss you in the evening too.
I want to thank you, pretty baby, for giving your love to me.
So in those days, we write letters to our boyfriends in Hote, Amore, Latin words and things like that. So it really touched my heart, and that was how it started.
She kept the marriage. She kept her husband. She respected her husband. She adored her husband. When we go out together, we go out a lot in those days. You will see Bola adoring Soji, and of course, you will be happy to see them as a couple in those days.
If I was going to describe Mom, it's actually her presence. I've been to many places in the world with her, and it's amazing how, we could be in a market in China, we could be in a restaurant in Australia, we could be walking down the street in London, and it's amazing the kind of presence that she commands.
I'm glad to be the person I am. When my children were younger, they feared me like hell because I was being strict with them.
A perfectionist, a person who's very meticulous in the way they go about stuff, very particular and set in a particular way, will never leave something she can do today till tomorrow.
As a young reporter at the NTA then, I covered some of the activities of Otunba, Ayora, Kuforiji Olubi as chairman UBA. And for a young girl, just starting my own profession, walking into that office, seeing this tall, pretty, elegant, graceful woman take control was to me very inspiring. And you saw her, the way she did the job with panache, with grace, with poise, with elegance. It made a lot of impression on a young reporter then like me. And, I looked at her and immediately saw her as a role model for women.
I became an Otunba not because I was being honored for anything I have done, like most people who are Otumbas. My Otumbaship is traditional.
Well, she had won virtually every known laurel in Egbaland. Women use her to pray for their daughters. They asked God to give them the kind of a person that is Suada Egba.
Bola, as I know her, is an honest person. She's a straightforward person, very hardworking. At the same time, as she walks, she subtilizes with enjoyment. She gathers friends together. All of us will gather in her place at Apapa. We would dance, we would eat, we would talk, we would all relax with her. Then, after that, then she goes back to her work. She works very hard, which we all know. And she was appreciated for this by many distinguished people from different areas of this country. For instance, I happen to know that she's chief in Egbaland. We went with her to Calabar, where she was given the chieftaincy title of Adai Hake Ebrute. We were all in dresses like Calabar ladies on that day. I happen to know that there's a place in Imo State where she was given a chieftaincy title called Onyanagamba. The people appreciated her, but one thing I know about her is her humility. The elders of this country can testify to that. When Bola would be talking to an elderly person, she would be telling that person in Yoruba, "Uncle, I'm on my knees. I hear that a lot, which means I'm on my knees, sir." And to me, it is the extent of humility in a successful person.
The first very close
relationship I had with her was when she was made the Otunba Ayora of Ijebu. I happened to be Otunba Tunwase and the Olori Omoba Akile Ijebu. The first thing that struck me was that she bestrode the masculine world, the world of the men, like a colossus.
I worked with her only when we were together on the Council of ICANN. And eventually I was her vice president when she was president of ICANN. And I found her to be very pleasant, very dutiful, very intelligent, and committed.
She is a woman in all descriptions, but weak. She doesn't belong there. When you first see her, she is intimidating. She is strong physically, mentally, and performance-wise.
I certainly give myself the credit and the privilege to have worked with her all the years. It was a privilege, and it was really a time when I felt, yes, of course I do believe in women, but not all women are like her. When I became managing director, certainly it was even more, because I had a tough time managing that bank. Without her, I don't know how I would have ended.
She didn't follow anybody. In fact, she broke doors wide open for others to come in.
I first started my public life involvement in 1976. A cousin of mine, Chief Olokpade, who turned 90 sometime this year, came to my office in Apapa and said, Bola, you know, I'm proud of you. I think you should get involved with Ogun State. And I said, in what capacity? And I'm not thinking about you being a commissioner, because that means you will leave other valuable things you're doing. But I'm going to be talking to General Obasanjo to find something for you. Alas, it happened.
I was headhunting for women that can be utilized for national development. We are in male chauvinistic society, and we must move away from that. Bola is a woman that her presence will be felt in any group. Not because of her figure, which is a little bit dominating, but because of her intellect, her ability, and the way she carries herself.
When I was a minister, you can't believe it, I stayed in the office until about 2 a.m. treating files, coming to Lagos at the weekend and carrying boxes of files with me. Nothing ever stayed on my table for more than 48 hours. And I'm glad I did it. I didn't make any money as a minister. I didn't even have the opportunity to make money.
I chatted with most of them who are coming into that ING. I interviewed them, I talked with them, we shared common beliefs and so on. And Bola stood out uniquely. Is one woman who has strength of character, who will do what she believes is right for the country and for her profession.
And like you observe, she is the only female. I see her as a man, or as not a woman among them. She is equally a man amongst men. And I believe she was the right choice at that time. And I'm satisfied that the choice was correct, because she had the experience, she had the knowledge, she had the charisma, and she is very, very forceful person.
I've known Otunba Ayora for more than 50 years now, because we were students together at the University of London. And we knew that she was a very hard-working lady. Every week we would meet at the university library, to have discussions about the subjects we were reading. And it was from that time that I realized that she was a very hard-working lady, and it was great inspiration to people like us who were also there at the time. In 1993, our path crossed again when she was, along with others, appointed as secretary to the interim, the transition council. And again, she became very, very active, very hardworking.
Ayora is a very kind-hearted person. You look at her and kindness doesn't strike you straight away. But when you are close to her, as I was opportunity to be, you will see her express kindness in various ways.
She came up with this Ayora Kuforiji Olubi Christian Foundation. She gives scholarships to lots of students at the secondary school level, at the tertiary level. She provides soccer for young graduates that are unemployed. She simply places God's treasures committed to her at the disposal.
We met at family function, and thereafter she then consulted me on a number of medical advice, and moving forward, she became a family friend of ours, and my wife and I and the rest of the family, we took her like a very great and very, very worthy
auntie. And I have adopted her as my surrogate mother. And above all, she's my friend. Whenever I have a problem, I will call auntie, and we'll sit down and we will talk, and we will talk, and we will talk. And she will give me from her wealth of wisdom, her experience, her exposure. And you know, no matter whatever problems I lay at her feet and we discuss it, I always feel much better, and as if somehow my problem in sharing it with her has been solved.
Suffice it to say, I've never seen a situation where I was so much impressed by the dignity, the poise, the blessings you can attach to a woman. I was extremely impressed. And since then, for one reason or the other, we became very, very close. And instantly became my adopted sister.
We've not been business colleagues nor anything, we're just friends, family friends who visit each other, get involved with children and relations and that sort of thing. And I found her to be such a unique person. I know she's a business person and she's involved in so many things, commercial and otherwise. But with us, it's pure friendship.
She has had considerable experience in business, and so quite honestly, I have great respect for her, and she has great respect for me. I wish to congratulate her on the occasion of her 80th birthday anniversary. I'd like to say that it's not easy growing old.
I said to her recently that health, ill health, and age have taken such a toll that anybody seeing her today would not know what she looked like in the 80s. No, you wouldn't. You need to have known her way back to be able to see, know, to appreciate the woman that we are talking about in terms of physical appearance, in terms of physique, in terms of impressive personality.
Life, I understand now, begins at 80, at the age of computer. It used to be life begins at 40, but when we became 60, they said life begins at 60. But today, we are still very young. After all, some people live up to 100, 110. There's a lot we can still do in 20 years. So I wish her long life or longer life and prosperity. She's already prosperous, but I wish she may be prosperous not only in body, but in soul and spirit.
For me, she's just grandmom, and I know she's done a lot of great things. I love you, and I'm really impressed, and I'm really proud of you.
I love my grandma, and I wish her a happy birthday.
Well, I have a present for Dr. Kuforiji. My present is that I'm not going to sing happy birthday to her. But I certainly want to wish that to her. And the one thing that we really didn't talk about is her enormous intellect that shines through immediately when you begin to talk to her about almost any subject. And we wish her many, many more years.
Dr. Kuforiji Bola, I came across something that I wanted to share with you, and it said, you should measure your life in smiles and not tears, and your age in friends and not years. And I think that you are a person who can do that better than anyone I know, because you have many friends, and all of us wish you a very happy birthday and just years and years more of joy.
I thank God for sending you our way, and as a result of us all meeting you, our lives are enricher, we're better human beings, and we thank you, and across the miles away, we wish you a happy 80th birthday. Our only regrets is that we're not there.
Can't be there.
We can't be there, but you know, we channeled it to you, channeling it to you. Happy birthday, Dr. Kuforiji, and many more to come.
Happy birthday.
Happy birthday.
Happy birthday.